Newsom says he is fed up. There are no more excuses. He says the state has done its part, providing plenty of funding to get encampments cleared up. He wants to see the results now. Governor Newsom made the announcement here in Los Angeles yesterday. He joined Caltrans to clear several encampment sites.
We had our big body challenge today. 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. You try to get under 5 minutes. How'd you go?
We got close. I was about 5:25. You were right behind me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fun Chat Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Thursday night, TMI. How are you, Pat?
I am doing fabulous. I worked today, put in a whole bunch of lights, always something different. And my cat has the zoomies, keeps ripping down the green screen curtain.
Uh-oh.
It's chaos over here.
I think we need to be in the same city at a real bar, a real outdoor indoor bar.
Really, this is going to happen one of these days.
One of these days. We need to road trip around California and explore all the bars, all the drinks of the area. Well,
how's your world?
It's good. You know, I am crazy busy right now with a movie that I made when I was pregnant with Asher, so 23 years ago. But they're trying to redistribute it, so I have to get them all this stuff. But everything's changed since then, right? Like, 23 years ago, there weren't streaming services. There weren't, so like the deliverables are very different. So I'm having to sort of figure that out. But it's fun.
Is the movie in color? Do they have color yet?
It's not a talkie. It's not a talkie yet. It is in color. And I was an enormous pregnant woman about to have a baby. So I'm a sight gag on the whole thing. But it's fun to kind of go back and revisit it. Yeah. But I'm busy. But good. It's good stuff. Always better to be busy.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Thank you.
Clue me into it.
Thank you. I will do shameless plugs for it when it is finally available. So welcome everybody to our Thursday night show. A reminder, please, to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. That's all. Now I'm trying to read on the screen. I know I'm trying to read on the screen people's comments. It's funny. We have so many different places to focus our attention. Yeah, that would be so much fun, actually, if we could road trip. I would just love it. It'd be awesome. We'll figure something out.
I'm calling it. This summer, we're doing it. I'll come your way this summer.
Okay. Did you all hear that? I'm gonna record it and keep it. I'm just gonna play it on a loop. All right, let's just start. There's so much to talk about. Davos is still going strong, and Gwen, just so you know, I don't go inside. I'm in Southern California, so there are a lot of bars that have like whole outdoor patios, and unless it's really crowded, I don't typically wear a mask outdoors, which, I'm just so everybody knows.
Yeah. There's some places outdoors. I mean, I don't go out anymore at all, ever.
Yeah.
But, I'll take a risk one time in the summer to go see you, to be outdoors.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not like a blanket. Anywhere outdoors is fine. It would have to be a place that we trust.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So, tomorrow there is going to be a citywide, and possibly even have, satellite cities joining this strike in Minneapolis to get ICE out. We've been pushing it every chance we get. So just wanted to give people a flavor for the energy there, so we all can just, focus our positive vibes and be with them in spirit tomorrow if we aren't there directly.
Yeah, you need to back up, Trump. We ain't fucking with you. Get out of Minnesota.
Important doesn't feel like a strong enough word for what this means this coming Friday. It's exciting to consider the power that people's pocketbook, as they say, has.
We're trying to rally some people together to walk the streets to kind of like shut down businesses, shut down everything pretty much because we want to get ICE out of here.
It's a protest that allows us to remember how big our community can be, as strong as it can be when we come together. You have to stand up. This is not normal. We should not normalize this type of behavior.
The people have power in this country. That's what it's going to take, is all of us coming together, having each other's backs.
Hopefully the rest of the country can see that this walkout, this strike has an impact, whether big or small.
We built this shit. You know what I'm saying? We made this from the ground up. We can take this shit down and take it back. We're human beings, bro.
You gotta have heart here, bro. You feel me? You gotta have a heart, bro. You can't just put all of us in one circle and try to make us paint us as criminals, bro. It's real hard working Somalis, Mexicans, white people, all that, bro. Get ICE out of Minnesota.
You know, do we dare dream that this is the moment that everybody wakes up? Yeah. I mean, with so many lives destroyed and, you know, snuffed out.
Right. Yeah.
But
I really think it can be a moment, you know, even if it's just a moment that leads to the next city saying, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
It worked in Minneapolis, you know.
Yeah.
or
It could be
Minnesota,
contagious.
you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, you know, the unions, you know, they're behind the AFC-CIO, I believe, is behind the supporting it. They're not behind it. They weren't organizers.
Right.
But they're supporting one day of it. So, like, you know, hey, if their local AFL-CIO can support it, so can the other unions, which should be contagious to all the unions.
Yeah, I think teachers union, UAW also, like, yeah, it should be. And I think there is a in the works to, you know, it probably won't be as big, but New York, like a sympathy, not a sympathy, but like in solidarity. I mean, the truth is, as you know, will show, Democrats aren't saving us from ICE, and they did their sort of pretend no vote. But of course, the budget for DHS will go through because Leader Jeffries, refuses to whip his caucus. And so he can say, just like Schumer said, I'm not voting to open the government, but knew that because he was not whipping his caucus, that the government would open, that he would still be able to say that he was on the correct side in his mind. He thinks that that's how it works out, when we all see that what he's really doing is capitulating, which is what Jeffries is doing. And this is getting really terrifying.
Yeah, and if they, you know, if they didn't stand up for genocide, that's the big sign. But then, you know, here they are. This is literally our people, your voters, who would love to support you for being on the right side of this issue, and you can't do it. So yeah, you are why violence is the answer. But you know, before we get to full blown violence, we'll try strikes and we'll get in the streets. But what kind of options are you giving us? We don't have representation in government.
We have no representation. As you know, I guess we'll just start. Are we starting with ICE? Are we just going in there?
Ice it up.
Ice it up. Okay.
Ice, baby.
So we talked about this yesterday, but 1,200 immigrants held in Alligator Alcatraz are now missing. That's insane. 1,200 people. So this has gotten to a point of just human trafficking, right? Like, and this started under Obama because he guaranteed a certain amount of money for a certain number of beds in migration facilities. And so you needed to fill those beds. So they are moving people around. They don't care if you have proof of your U.S. citizenship or your permission to be in our country. If you are not a native U.S. born person, they don't care what they want. You know, it's like break things and we'll deal with it later.
No. And for somebody, probably a white supremacist, you were worth $100 because they got you in the system for $100 or whatever their commission is for, you know, they literally are getting bonuses per detainee.
Absolutely. They're getting bonuses because the private prison industry is making bank off of all of this. Also, all the food suppliers, the phone, you know, people, like, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry to traffic humans. It's
Yeah,
It's
and
disgusting blight.
even the people that will get freed from the system in a week or so, it's like that's like the interest the government keeps, because they're keeping them for a week. Well, they spent money on them, even if it was a mistake. So the government has to pay for the detention for that week.
That's right.
And somebody had to feed them, like you said, for the week. Just like when the government holds your interest and they'll give it back to you in a month, or your employer does that. That's because they make a couple bucks off of all.
That's right. Yeah. And, the courts are slow to act. They are also filled with a lot of Republicans. There was just, that Daniel account. He does a lot of work on electoral politics and talking about it. He just wrote up an article Oh my God. It was a tweet. It was a multi-part tweet. It was not an article. But that there are two GOP state Supreme Court justices in Nevada, who are running unopposed. Why would you do that as the Democratic Party? Why? Why especially Republican running unopposed by the party of opposition?
In Nevada, a very leaning blue state now.
Yeah.
Like it's purple, but probably blue, to be honest. Just don't give us a shit bag and it's blue.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that probably is the truth on most states. I mean, I really do. But anyway, so yeah, Democrats are horrible. And yes, they are now asserting that they have power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. So, listen, when Breonna Taylor was killed while she was sleeping in her bed because the cops had a no-knock warrant and just like jammed themselves in and started shooting, or remember the woman who they came in and she was like boiling water at the sink? They shot and killed her because she was like going to throw the water at them across the room, but they had no reason to be there. These are all the canaries in the coal mine, and now it's just happening, which is why I will never come out on the side of cops, because they started this whole process.
Yeah, I mean, I looked into this whole warrant thing a little bit, and apparently it's a deportation thing that the courts have to have said this person is a high value target of some sort, so they can't technically just no warrant everywhere. But as we always know, it's just abuse. And after the fact, they will justify that some random detainee was there or whatever they need to. It's just another layer of due process being ripped away from us. It's not, this thing is not just about the people they're trying to deport, because once those rights get taken away from a random person, then you have to stand up in front of them with your passport, your 7 forms of ID, your resume, all that to prove that you shouldn't have busted into my house. I mean, it's
just giving these thugs the idea that they have that impunity is damaging enough. Like, even if in years they're, fined or held accountable or put in jail, whatever, it will be too late for so many people. What's happening right now. And, once again, we've got Jeffrey is saying he will not whip voters against ICE funding. So, that's where we are. Get out in the streets for sure. It is getting really bad, though. So they have stopped paying for medical treatment. ICE, DHS has stopped paying the bills to third-party providers since October. So people are there. They need medicine. People have diabetes. They have, long-term issues. There's also, COVID was running rampant at one point. I mean, now this isn't at an ICE facility, but, we now have, I love the way they phrase it. They're saying Amazon confirms outbreak of Victorian disease at a warehouse. It's tuberculosis. So how long before that just goes through any place that's housing in horrific conditions thousands of people?
Yeah, honestly, Amazon is as close to prison labor as you get. I mean, it's pretty damn close, to be honest. But Victorian disease is coming back. I like that they say that, to be honest, because
although they didn't. I read the article and they did not mention tuberculosis, which is
didn't even label it. Geez.
That's insane. Yeah,
but if you don't believe in science, that's what we got. RFK at the helm, who his we showed that clip the other day, but he believes in germ theory that was outdated in 1850. He doesn't believe in germ theory. He has an alternative theory on medicine that he believes, because he's such a doctor, and our whole country is being led by that idiotic theory.
Well, just like I mean, once you start with, you've got to build your immune system up to a constantly mutating level 3 biohazard virus, you've jumped the shark on following the science completely. But
but once you've had the measles and TB and COVID 17 times, think of how tough your immune system is.
Rocking hard. So this is a report from Minneapolis where a 5-year-old child was detained, and before his family knew where he was moved from Minneapolis to Texas.
The Columbia Heights School District says that 4 of their students have been detained by ICE agents over the last few weeks, including a 5-year-old boy who was taken into custody on his way home from school yesterday afternoon. School officials say Liam Ramos was riding home with his father when federal agents approached their car. Family members say they didn't know where he was for nearly 24 hours. But their lawyer confirms that the 5-year-old is now being held at a detention facility in Texas. School officials confirm at least 1 other student is currently detained in Texas, and they are working to locate 2 other students who were taken by ICE.
I mean, it is horrifying. This is the minor fallout of this, but kids are showing up for their little league games or basketball games canceled because the other team had too many people who were either of Somali descent or Hispanic descent, and they're not leaving their homes. Of course they're not, which is why we are seeing these crazy videos. I mean, this is okay, look at this. It is horrifying, because everybody's trying to comply. But if you can't get them at their schools, where we're now seeing ICE trucks pulling up onto school campuses, they're going to get you at your home.
Please, just don't. Please, oh my God, my kids are in the house, you guys, please.
Who's in the house?
My 2 kids and myself, please. And my son, please.
Step out.
You guys, please, you guys are scaring my kids.
Step out. Bring your kids out with you.
Okay.
Pull your kids now.
I will, please.
Let's go.
Will you hear my kids? Oh God, you guys don't do this to my kids.
Come to me.
My kids. Come on. Oh my God, my kids. My kids are so young. Oh my God. You guys, my kids.
Go to the left. Go to your mom.
Come on. Oh my God, you guys are oh my God. You guys.
Who else is in the house?
Nobody. Oh my God. Why? My son is a citizen. We're citizens. My son is a citizen. We have paperwork. We have all the paperwork.
So honestly, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They hate us all. And it's just interesting to see, like we keep having crossover between Israel, the First Amendment, ICE, because it is all intertwined. And they are, Trump said last week he's canceling the First Amendment.
And can you just imagine being a brown citizen in any area where ICE has got a presence?
No.
And that these scumbags are just throwing away people and deporting them, sending them to prisons in other cities, and 1,200 people are just missing from one of the main detention centers, Alligator Alcatraz. I wouldn't participate in society if I had to, and I sure wouldn't want my kids out in the world in this bullshit.
It is really, really terrifying. there's a really a great video. It's long though, but it's a combat veteran who's being interviewed by Status Quo, who's been doing fantastic work on the ground. And he was also at the same church that we showed yesterday where Don Lemon went to follow a protest because one of the pastors there is an ICE agent. He was protesting there and calling for that guy to resign. Yesterday, last night, he was out on the street. No, wait, today's the 22nd. It was today on the street talking about how you have to put your bodies on the line and, stand up for your immigrant friends, your brown and black neighbors, just anybody, because we could all be targeted. And he took an oath to the Constitution, and ICE comes over, they arrest him and haul him off.
And they arrested, I believe, 3 people that were behind the rally that ended up at that church. And they're just activists. They didn't have a plan to disrupt the service even. And they're charging them under, I think it's a KKK law of all things, to make just the full circle of the idiot.
It's the KKK law. Oh, and I had it before, but because
we had it for last show, I think.
I know Nicki Minaj was like quote tweeting it because she wants Don Lemon to have to go to jail under that KKK law. He's being targeted. All right. So I don't know. Should we show that video or should we move on to the First Amendment stuff? I just don't know how much time we have today.
Oh, you can show it. I'm here till probably 8-ish.
Okay. All right.
We'll call it
8. All right. So this is combat veteran William Kelly explaining his duty to protest.
Well, our nation's falling. In my opinion, the Republic has already fallen. Congress has failed. No one is coming to save us. The midterms might not save us. I just want to stand up for humanity while we can. I'm seeing the exact parallels of 1939 Nazi Germany. I thought Venezuela was going to be Poland. But, I'm seeing this happening in my nation. I love this country. I love all people, no matter their race, religion. None of that shit matters to me. And I feel an obligation as having the privilege of having a VA disability check so I can be out here. And now I have a social platform, so my voice is getting out there. So I just can't stop. I just feel that it's my patriotic duty. I swore an oath to the Constitution, and I plan to fucking uphold it. People are seeing what's happening, and they know it's the fucking same thing as Nazi Germany. They see that this city has been invaded by 4,000 fucking private troops, Donald Trump's private army, and so they know that if they're not out here, they're complicit. So if you're willing and able and physically able to get off your couch, it just takes you to be out here. You don't have to yell. You don't have to wave a flag. You can just stand here. You can wear a costume.
Kelly, you okay? Fucking Christ.
Use the bat like half of you guys are. You guys up that line. Remember your oath. Remember what you're fighting right now. You are defending the Constitution. Remember your oath. Shame on you. Shame on every one of you. Are you bringing him the federal building, I assume?
Yeah, can we know where you're taking him?
Americans, do not be intimidated by these goons. Remember the Constitution. Stand for humanity. Do not be intimidated.
Where are you guys taking him?
They've done away with all protocols. Where are you taking him? We don't know. What's the number he's assigned so that we can tell a lawyer to call the detention facility to get they're just like wild. It's the Wild West for them.
Absolutely. What's your badge number? What's your face? I can't even, connect your face to it. They change the plates in their cars before they go out a lot of times. They put little fake plates on these things. And they're in the little, I'm a G.I. Joe cop kind of guy. It's got, 28 tool belts with weapons on them, and they just do whatever they want. There's no accountability for this.
Yeah, it's really devastating. And they're just shredding the Constitution. The whole America First thing is just out the window, whatever that was supposed to mean anyway. But and
what we need Well, but what we need a conflict driven. I mean, if it was driven by Democrats, we'd have the conflict already. We'd have it before the Supreme Court in a way that would challenge this right. But the Democrats won't put up the fight to get us to the courts. The fight you put up is you put your police and your National Guard and you say, we don't want you here. You're not allowed here. We're going to stop your plane from landing here. We're going to do everything we can to keep you out of this state because you're breaking the law. Let's let the Supreme Court decide.
Right. Or yeah, and even like if the law is that they are allowed to look for supposedly violent criminals in your city, even if you're a sanctuary state, because that's the problem, right, that Trump is having in his administration, that these sanctuary cities. But cops should be watching them because they, more than any other demographic, they are breaking the law daily, several times daily. And cops should just be arresting people who are breaking the law. Like they're doing it out in the open. That would cause a real conflict, which is why when these cops get out there and just say, get the fuck out, it's like everybody wants to swear now, but not actually do anything that means something. That would actually spark a true response. I mean, it would probably spark a civil war, but like that would show me that they actually care about criminals, because this is criminal. This is anti-constitutional.
You have to look who has the power to step in and stop this. Truly, the Supreme Court has power to rule this stuff, unconstitutional, and then we see what happens. They'll, for the most part, when the Supreme Court has responded, even Trump realizes he doesn't want that fight to go against the Supreme Court because that would be too much for most Republicans who are going to have to outlast his 8 years of tyranny. So, but you can't get there unless you have a conflict that necessitates the Supreme Court stepping in, and they're not willing to provide it.
No. Which is why all the bluster, all the ridiculous, get the fuck out, and then you do nothing. It's completely meaningless. And they are modeling this after the IDF and Israel, which fine. I mean, and they modeled it after, Jim Crow laws, or they modeled it after Nazis. I mean, whatever. They're all the same. They are lawless brutes who want complete, abeyance. So
yeah,
that's the problem.
And when you see them cut healthcare for all these people, regardless of the reason you have these people, they are entitled to healthcare. And you took them away from their current healthcare and put them in a situation where they have nothing. And for ICE to pretend there's some justification for it, there isn't. They just got $170 billion fucking dollars.
It's just it's really horrifying. So, they are criminalizing protest, as we are seeing on the daily. Trump just recently said that he was just taking away freedom of speech. We got to protect freedom of speech by curbing freedom of speech.
We've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. I've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts. This is what they do, is they incite. When you burn an American flag, you incite tremendous violence. We have many examples of it, many examples of it, and it's actually down on tape, and you see things happen that just don't happen unless it's the flag that's burning.
I mean,
yeah,
it's absurd.
Just to remind people, it is 100% legal to burn a flag still today in front of ICE.
It absolutely is. But also, I mean, like, we're at a point now where it's sort of, the law doesn't matter because there are no consequences and there's nobody upholding the law. So
well, yeah, and the people upholding the law are listening to Trump because they're white nationalist motherfuckers. Right. And here he is saying you can't burn a flag.
Can't burn a flag. You have
First
complete immunity. We're getting rid of the First Amendment. You can barge into anyone's home if there is probable cause. And by the way, all of these people are terrorists, Hamas. And we know what everybody says about Hamas, which again is why I do not condemn ever. Do not condemn.
Yeah, and you might lose support if you do something worse than shoot somebody in the face, but shooting someone in the face isn't enough to lose full support of this administration. So,
oh no, he was justified because, as Trump said, that woman wasn't showing him respect. They are such crybullies. They demand complete subservience, and if they don't get it, their feelings are so hurt that they will kill you and then turn around and say to everybody else, didn't you learn from what happened to that lesbian bitch? Out loud on tape. And they are just as cavalier and brazen about documenting their crimes as the IDF is. Because then it gets put into some DHS video, AMSR, violent porn video kind of deal.
Yeah, and you got all these ICE agents, they don't have body cams, and I'm not saying we should get them body cams. I mean, sure, they should all have body cams you couldn't turn off. That would be great, right. But they're never going to get that. They're always going to have a system that allows them to turn the body cams off.
Right.
But they use their phones for one, facial recognition people, log them in a system, and for two, to catch video that makes them look like the good guy and edit selectively, choose what to film.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Which has been shown. I mean, I think there have been studies showing this for well over 2 decades at this point, that all of these reforms do nothing. All they do is give more money to more parts of the police industry, basically. The body cam people, the training video, all of that is just, it's another way of making money off of the suffering and the, subjugation of people.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, like I said, $170 billion we just allocated to these scumbags, and, everyone has agreed somewhere between 55 and 75 billion ends homelessness. So which would you rather have here?
Do you get free labor, though, if you end homelessness? Yeah. Do your private prison buddies get to make billions of dollars? That's really what it all boils down to. It is a huge money-making system, the carceral system. It's really terrifying. And then the more they criminalize, the more people they are going to be able to suck up into their free labor / slavery system. And, it's interesting because this whole crushing of dissent started, at this high level, under the guise of, we're protecting people from anti-Semitism. We have to protect Jews. There's such a huge rise in anti-Semitism, even saying from the river to the sea, that's a genocidal statement, So to have somebody like Miriam Adelson buy her access to Trump, basically buy his presidency, between Miriam Adelson and Elon Musk, right? Like, I think together they gave him $250 million. And now she is paying and ensuring that anybody who says anything that Zionists consider scary, uncomfortable, anti-Semitic, for why, it doesn't even matter if they feel it's just, it rubs them the wrong way. And they proudly talk about it. Here she is introducing Pam Bondi at the Israeli-American conference, completely proud of how she is destroying one of the few constitutional rights that used to differentiate, or we thought differentiated, the U.S. from other countries.
Under her leadership, the Department of Justice has made combating anti-Semitism a top priority, especially in response to the alarming rise in incidents following October 7. She brings moral clarity, resolve, and an unwavering commitment to justice to this critical fight. Please welcome my friend, the 87th Attorney General of the United States, Pamela Bondi.
And so now we are seeing in several different states people who have posted something online getting visited at their homes by federal agents, just the way we saw at the very beginning of this genocide in the West Bank, when people who had posted just sympathy or prayers for people in Gaza were getting visited. This happened
but they're getting to the point where they're going to know because of your communications, because they've got all of our systems communication tapped.
Yep.
And this, you know, they don't need a warrant anymore. They just have AI that's scrubbing all these systems.
Yep.
And they find out, well, look, Lila's, she's trying to get some people together to go down to 18th and J Street, and they're going to have a rally there.
She's a terrorist.
She's promoting violence.
Yep.
Because rallies are now violence.
And what's my terrorism score? Because they'll just like scrape all the data, and any words can be flagged to create whatever profile of you makes them more money, really. So there've been a few different things that have happened recently. This happened just last week in Miami Beach.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question either
well,
way.
like I said, you're not going to jail.
This is freedom of speech. This is America, right?
And
veteran.
And I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
We're just trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person is.
Okay, how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leaves the room when they vote and on related matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
So you don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part, and not concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about. And we wanted to get your side. If it was you that posted that, I would think to refrain from posting things like that, because that could get something incited.
I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you coming out here.
Okay?
That's it?
That is it.
Okay.
I'm going to maintain my amendment rights to not answer the question about whether or not that's right. I hope that's understandable.
All right, we appreciate it.
Thank you as well.
Day, okay?
You as well. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, how about you just get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit?
I'm actually shocked that they did just walk away a little bit. But like, that's where that whole thing, like Trump was like, oh, it incites violence. It's what Ben Shapiro said to Gavin Newsom. That clip that we showed where it's like,
yeah,
do you admit Israel's not committing a genocide? Because if Israel's committing a genocide, then it's a pariah state. So like, if you say this about the mayor, then what you're doing is, even though he said it, here it is. Like, I mean, this is, you know, her, this is her.
This is so fucking vanilla, this statement.
It's ridiculous that this is,
for.
Yeah, exactly.
This is factually 100% true.
Right. He calls for the death of Palestinians. He tried to shut down a theater. This is him. Tried to evict the cinema for showing the Oscar-winning No Other Land. And that because she's pointing out what he actually did and proudly says, right? We have so many different political people in political office who have talked about destroying Gaza, make it look like a parking lot. They're all, evil, all the worst things, signing bombs that are going to Russia. I mean, like, we have genocidal, murderous people in our ranks, but pointing that out makes you the person who's inciting violence.
And yeah, look, I don't think it was, they want people to feel like something could happen to them. They don't have the authority to actually do anything about that stuff. You know, they don't want to be filmed doing this. Those agents didn't want to be filmed. This isn't Trump administration putting it out there. So anytime you get one of these people coming to your house, if this happens, say, excuse me, get someone to film the entire exchange and put it online every single fucking time.
And do not say anything without a lawyer.
Absolutely. She handled it. She gave them more than I would give them.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Well, remember those videos that kept being put out? I don't know if they're still doing it, but it was Shut the Fuck Up Friday. And it was a reminder from First Amendment lawyers telling people, like, get your lawyer and don't say anything else. So that was Miami Beach. This is where, I don't know where this is, but okay, here's another one, because they're ramping it up.
You don't want to perceive any ill will towards these people other than what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to see your trials.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Do you go to a lot of the any demonstrations at all or things like that?
Why do you want to know that?
I'm just curious. For certain questionnaires we have to ask. I'm sorry to get the phone.
Sorry, I don't want to answer that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any weapons in the house at all?
No.
Just curious. Okay. Have you traveled to any functions, Democrat, Republican, any sides? Any kind of rallies or anything like that?
I just answered that question. Okay. So I
You don't
want
want
to
to
answer.
talk. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me about any other statements at all?
No.
Okay.
What do you consider crossing the line on social media?
And it's a very good question. I mean, so technically, obviously you have freedom of speech, right? Everybody has that.
Mm-hmm.
Crossing the line is when you're going like a direct left, like, I will go kill the president, or statements like that, right? So those are obviously different threshold, you know what I mean? And we usually present those to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Something like this, veiled threat, it's you know, is it a threatening nature? Now that I know that you didn't mean anything by it, it's basically a non-issue, right? So it'll basically end here. I'll go back, read it my report. You know,
Okay, so what can I do about the people on social media that threaten me in my home?
I would write to the local police and make a report. Right. Any other suggestions on that? Are you being threatened by other people?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay. No.
All the time, but I'm not going to shut up.
No, and again, you have the right to say that as long as they're not threatening nature.
Yeah,
right?
I've never said anything about killing anybody.
Okay. So again, what you meant with this was, again, tell me one more time.
Like the trials, the Newsom trials, like when all this shit is over, I want to see all of them go to trial, and I want it to be televised, so I can watch it.
Okay. All right. That's all I'm looking for. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Yep.
it. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
This was her tweet. When Caroline Leavitt gets what she deserves, I hope it's televised. That got her a visit from federal agents.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it is so much like the threatening to kill the president stuff. You're getting those kind of checks for just tweets that are like, I'm going to the rally on Thursday.
Who do you vote for? I mean, that is insane. That is insane. Yeah. Like, and you know, and again, like Democrats have been fully complicit with making this happen, talking about how the college kids protesting a genocide were Hamas supporters, they're terrorist supporters, they're being infiltrated, paid by Iran, another terrorist country. It is really next level, and yeah, film all of it. But like, I don't know. I mean, you know, I thought, oh, filming a genocide and waking people up would cause that to have somebody come in to stop it. Filming, you know, cops shooting people who are unarmed, walking away, a kid in a hoodie or whatever, like that would be enough. So like, it just keeps escalating, and there's never a consequence from the first transgression. So then it just keeps growing.
Yeah, look, not to frame these things politically, but like the one thing all this is doing is like, I can't imagine being a libertarian supporting Trump. You know, if you're actually a libertarian about leave me the fuck alone, states' rights and all that shit, and people are saying things that the administration doesn't like, and they're getting cop visits. Like that's very like, how can you be a libertarian supporting Trump anymore? Like that's really in conflict with what you claim to believe. But most libertarians are fucking hypocrites anyway. But
they are. I mean, most people are, right? Like, you know, which is part of the reason we point out the people who are supposed to be opposing this have been fully complicit. But I do think actually, like, it seems, I mean, obviously Trump is losing support. And I think that's the thing that is actually the scariest to me, is that he's losing support for all of these different, you know, genocide not supported by a majority of the country. Democrats didn't care. Medicare for all supported by a majority of the country. Democrats don't care. Canceling student debt. Nobody gives a fuck. Now his own party, he is in the toilet with his numbers. They don't care because like it has nothing to do with the democracy or representing his people.
I mean, he cares on a narcissistic level that people mock him, you know, which he's going to have. But then that's why he's created this meme environment from the White House. They're his meme response team for that kind of stuff. It's just ego driven, like Elon Musk buying Twitter so he can not look so stupid, you know. But yeah, he is losing support. But does that matter to this guy? Like you said, he made
$1.4 billion last year.
In the last year.
First year. Yeah.
1.4 billion. And remember in 2016, he came into office, or 2016. No,
yeah.
What was his first? Yeah, 2016. And it was a question if he was even a real billionaire.
Right.
But just last year, he made 1.4 billion. So he's not, you know, his ego may take a hit because people know about his little mushroom dick. But like at the end of the day, 1.4 billion, you can laugh at my little mushroom dick if you want.
Yeah.
You know?
While he's also like bringing in the despots of the Middle East to his board of peace for $1 billion each. Where's that money going to go? It's his own private slush fund. I mean, it's ridiculous. And what he's gotten from Qatar. I mean, it's like, but again, there is no consequences to any of this, you know, and which is why like all of these like jokey, I got you, like harsh burns that Gavin Newsom and AOC do that don't talk about the actual meat of the infringement on all of our lives and rights when they just are so surfacey and it's so like team blue, team red, you know, like it's really upsetting because when you have the platform, the microphone that these people have to not call out the reality of how they are destroying people's lives and their communities and our nation and other people's nations, it just like you're not suited for this job.
No, you're normalizing not having a discussion about the facts.
Yeah.
You're normalizing, oh, team blue, team red, meme. Like, no, there's some facts that are true in this case, and you should be screaming them because the public agrees with you on them. You're going to get more support for something that's actually going to put some impediments in front of ICE than you are about, you know, little ICE memes or something. You know, Trump is little crybaby Trump taco. Oh, Trump's chickening out. Hitler, you didn't go far enough, you little pussy. Hitler.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, they're goading him on. You said you were going to do all these tariffs. You backed out. You said you were going to do regime change in Venezuela. It wasn't a full regime change. You said you were going to storm Greenland. Taco didn't do it. And then, you know, Gavin Newsom's out there talking about knee pads. Like first of all, it feels very like, because it's directed towards a man, very homophobic.
Yes.
But as somebody,
100%. San Francisco, Gavin Newsom of all people, it's not like he doesn't know to not use the R word or not to make being gay the joke. He knows it more than anybody from sucking up to his constituents. Like, he knows his.
Yeah. So he puts out things like this to the EU: get off your knees. America's allies and business leaders need to understand this. There's no diplomacy with Donald Trump. Get off your knees and grow a spine, which is so gross. And then doubles down on it. So his speech was canceled by the Trump administration at Davos, but he did get like a sit down kind of town hall, and he keeps it going. This is like the lowest of the low hanging fruit, 12-year-old humor that is not rising to the moment that's necessary.
You're running around distributing knee pads to CEOs, and I think it does.
Handing them out,
and it does.
I do have a few, if you'd like. I don't know.
And honestly, it sounds.
By the way, I'm not kidding. They're the new Trump signature series knee pads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out. And I just want to sort of. It's a serious moment. It actually, but we laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk too.
But I want to read you a couple of things the U.S. government.
It's a serious moment. He just admits it's a serious moment. So buy my knee pads.
The Trump edition. I'm selling them. He is blue Trump, blue MAGA, whatever the fuck. Like, you're selling knee pads with Trump on them. What are you doing? I mean, really, that's the leader of the fourth largest economy in the world.
It's so offensive. And to come off of Kamala Harris losing to him, and this guy wants to put himself in the ring, and he's less serious than her with this stuff. It's just amazing to me.
It's really, I mean, it is beyond. It is truly beyond. He is just, and that's why, every chance I get to re-show that photo of him and Laura Trump or whatever, was it Laura or was it Kimberly Guilfoyle? It's the Guilfoyle one.
On the rug? Yeah,
that's Kimberly Guilfoyle. Yeah.
On
his like gold-plated penthouse and on a bear rug or whatever the fuck. Yeah. I mean, like, that is who he is. And then he says things like this, and we're supposed to take him seriously. And to whom is he appealing? Like, we just saw Kamala fucking nosedive and hand off the reins of power to Donald Trump for the second time in 8 years from a Democrat by cozying up to the Cheneys. And now you've got Newsom talking about Lindsey Graham like this.
We can look, he's an invasive species, Donald Trump. He's not. He is. He took over the Republican Party. They're just, he's got, a few of them. Lindsey Graham, speaking of the knee pads. I'm sorry. This is tough stuff. It's tough stuff. I don't recognize these people any longer. I used to respect Lindsey. Lindsey, you think what I'm saying about Trump's tough? How about what Lindsey Graham said about Trump? How about the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio?
Do you think
these are the same people, and this is why for things to change, we need to change.
Do you think
and that's why I'm changing my approach. And again, grateful you all took the time.
I suppose. Do you think
you used to respect? Yeah, there we go. That's your guy.
This guy. This is your ultra left progressive guy. Notice the gold chairs and the gaudiness.
Also, he was a politician at this point. Like, why are you posing like that? You're not, it would be embarrassing enough if it was like some, new heartthrob guy, the Teen Beat, like the cover of Teen Beat. But like, he was supposed to be doing serious things then. But also, this whole thing of like, oh, the Republican Party, we need, the, what's it called, bipartisanship and camaraderie and all that bullshit. George W. Bush killed 1 million Iraqis based on a lie. He stole the presidency with Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld. And like, this is the Republican Party and most of the Democratic Party. What the fuck are you talking about? They've always been disgusting.
Trump's an outlier. No, he's not an outlier. You're so much more like Trump than we want in government.
I mean, Trump is the
Newsom
Republican Party.
himself, just a reminder, he did not help. Newsom with COVID literally went to the French Laundry when he was telling people to lock down. So to this day, when you hear lockdown stuff, they're like, look at that hypocrite Newsom at the French Laundry.
Yep.
And that did a lot of fucking damage.
It did a lot of damage. Yeah, it undermined anything that people were trying to push about actual science 100%. And listen, I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, vetoing pro-union, pro-worker bills right after a huge strike, a 9-month strike of actors and writers in town.
Currently against the billionaire tax.
Billionaire tax.
That is threatening to tax billionaires 1%. He's against this tax.
I don't understand his political instincts because he's swarmy and disgusting, but I'm a little shocked. He knows that taxing billionaires is wildly popular across the board. He knows that most of this country considers what Israel's doing a genocide. He knows, all the things that we all talk about that he won't fight for. And so what it really is his version of success is not about ascension to a different seat of power. It's just about raking in more money. And when that is what you want, you're not beholden to the people on any level. He doesn't care.
No, that's it. And if I had to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually flips to Republican in 6-8 years from now to save the party from where they're going, because financially, fiscally, he's always been a Republican.
Yeah.
He's going to say, I'm here to bring some morality back to this party.
Yeah.
And the only people that are going to like him are California Republicans. Maybe they'll like him because, I don't know. But nationally, he's dead in the water on any side of the ticket. I mean,
I hope so. I mean, you really have to hope so. But what they'll do is they'll bring out J.D. Vance with his ICE goon squad, and we'll have
villain on villain,
9% Hitler versus 100% Hitler, and then all the people who always go and do their lesser of two evils that's delivered us to this dystopia will not have learned a single thing, and they will cast their vote for this Tamu Patrick Bateman. All right, should we show something fun, or should I just rip on AOC really quickly and then show something fun? No,
those are both fun options. So do that, and then we'll get to the
because we can just get away from all this bullshit. Okay.
Real quick, how big of a factor is Donald Trump's cognitive decline, given what we're seeing at Davos?
I think that the president has been acting in increasingly erratic ways. I think it is really damning when we think about the degree to which mass media outlets reported on Joe Biden, and that resulted in the Democratic Party changing its nominee, etc. Yet we are seeing behavior from Donald Trump that is increasingly erratic and alarming, and everyone's pretending that this is normal. I don't really understand why that is. It is very bizarre. But then, importantly, I think that for our European partners and for our global partners, I think what they also see is the result of not just one man, right? But also the entire government apparatus and a party that is willing to watch someone decompensate in front of the world and do nothing about it. I don't know what's going on, but I find that the standard, it would be helpful if we could apply an even standard here and far more, a fraction of the reporting that was dedicated, a year or two ago to see that applied right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you gave her your wish to apply the same standard, then they would not point anything he's done out yet in the press until he falls off a stage like 28 times and walks in the wrong direction and has a stroke on TV, you know.
Bleeds out from an eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for her to be talking about the acuity of this guy, and then right behind her, the guy with the walker who's a Democrat. Not that there's anything against walkers or being ageist or anything, but it's just like
we have
the
like
irony of it all. The
Democrats
optics of
die
her
in office over the past 4
so
years.
the optics of that moment, like that was kind of funny to me.
It is honestly at this point, first of all, like she should be so embarrassed because she, you know, she's young enough to know that everything she said about Biden, defending him, endorsing him right away, not fight, like that's all going to come back at her, that he was way worse, you know, visually decomposing in front of all of us. And that if you want to talk about what's meaningful, like, I don't care. Honestly, I would not care if he's being wheeled out on a bed, hooked up to an IV, drooling, if he gives us health care, stops a genocide, stops attacking 7 other countries with bombs. Like,
completely.
I wouldn't give a fuck. That's not the crucial part of his decomposition.
No, and for her to be out here acting like she wasn't the one propping him up the most at the end there to sell him to the progressive Bernie wing of the party.
And she even just said it. She even said, like, oh, your skewed reporting is what forced Biden to be replaced. Like, do you think that Biden would have had a better chance against Trump than Kamala? I mean, they both suck, but like, really? No, 70% of Biden's own party didn't want him to run back in like January of 2024. And you insisted that he should.
Yeah. And this is why, again, her instincts are not good politically either. No. She is also very not big league enough. She's too small for the moment, for whatever that moment is as well.
Yep.
The only thing she's had right in her career is being on Team Bernie.
Yep.
And that's it. But appealing to the kiddos on TikTok that's meme culture. That's not serious enough for this moment at all.
It's not. And she's not politically savvy. First of all, she doesn't believe in anything. She has no moral integrity. There's no consistency. Her ideology is skewed by her careerism. And that's giving her credit for possibly even actually having that ideology. So, yeah, I mean, that is why I think the word salad comes from trying to please all your donors, but also trying to please the people who you want to still vote for you. And you're not sure. And so you're always like,
and knowing that you're a hypocrite.
Lines. Yeah.
And then looking back and seeing the guy in the walker and then trying to continue.
I mean, for real, like truly, because if you believe in what you are saying, you don't sound like that. You just don't. And, you know, she actually had a really good grilling of like one of the CEOs of a muckety muck at CVS or whatever, who like basically is vertical integration. They have the deals with the pharmaceuticals. They own all the CVS. They have so basically, you know, they're in the health insurance industry. So they talk about like clients being fully captured because they have to buy into every part of a system that CVS industry owns entirely, right? So like CVS is getting money from people on like 6 different levels because they own all of it. She had a great presentation. Somebody obviously had written it for her. I think because she had it scripted, because she knows that she's grilling a health insurance, you know, industry person. Yeah. But like when she actually has to explain her feelings about something that are like, I don't care what people said about Biden because they were right. And actually, it was more important that you supported him when he broke a railway strike. And then 2 more, by the way, nobody ever talks about that. That you never talked about Medicare for all. That you said we're following science and Biden ended the pandemic when twice as many people died under him as under, like all of that. So
scolded progressives harder than Nancy Pelosi at times. And it's always at the time when we don't need the only alleged progressive in the House. I mean, there's maybe
there's 6 of them or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Progressives, but she always used those moments to come out and scold us if it's us critiquing the Democratic Party.
Or like making fun of unserious Jill Stein. Like, honestly, anybody who made fun of third party or Jill Stein and who considers herself a leftist and said, I'm going to bring the ruckus. I'll be a one-term congresswoman. Nobody's more scary than somebody who's only just coming in for one, or, you know, like, and talking about the unseriousness of Jill Stein.
Yeah. And just a note to her team in the future, if you're going to do that, maybe don't do it in a TikTok with a selfie above your head on the bed.
Your
like,
thirst
you know,
trap.
oh my God, it's Jill Stein, you guys, blah, blah, blah.
Where has she been? I don't know. She's getting her ass arrested.
She's getting loser vibes.
Yeah. All right. Now we probably need to bring a little joy. What do you think?
Joy.
A little joy.
Joy is up.
A little joy. An hour in.
Yeah, baby.
I need more wine. Oh, I know you love the here's. Come on. This, you know what this means?
I do.
When it lands
but they're
on
not
your
joy.
It means that we're gonna have 2. So that's
it's a win-win. You're right. I'm gonna look at
win-win.
it differently now. Here, followed by puppets.
Okay. So this is who passed a couple of years ago, brilliant journalist. Go ahead. Sorry. No.
To call a decent person anti-Semitic because he dares to criticize Israel is shameful, because it will make anti-Semitism respectable, and shame upon those people who make these false accusations against us as journalists. We're always being told, oh, you're biased, you're on the side of Palestinians, you're on the side of Arabs. No. If we were reporting the slave trade in the 18th century, would we be expected to give equal time to the slave ship captain? No, we'd talk to the slaves and find out how many of them had died on the ship. If we were present at the liberation of a Nazi extermination camp, would we give half our story to the SS spokesman? No. We would talk to the survivors and learn about the Jewish dead. And when I was in the Sabra Shatila camps of Beirut in 1982, climbing over those corpses, I wrote about the survivors and the victims. I did not give equal time to the Israeli excuses.
That's what moral clarity sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It reminds me of the transition of the media from like, back in the Bush era, they switched it up to, that's when Fox became a news station. It was like, for equality, what we'll do is we'll have a guy on the left and a guy on the right debate it out. So it'll be even, we'll be even-handed. And I was like, no, that's not the answer. If you're going to have a guy on the left and a guy on the right, you need some neutral parties to be the actual voices mediating this discussion. Otherwise, it seems like it's an equal argument. Yeah. And there's some facts that are involved, There
are facts.
So now what they do, well, they've evolved now to the point where it's like, okay, we get the guy on the left, the guy on the right, and everyone in business. And then we'll maybe get one leftist, so they're outnumbered like 6-1.
Yeah. And the leftist is always like a left lib kind of person who's like, Kamala didn't have enough time. She would, whatever. Yeah. It's, if it's raining out, there are not two sides to that story. And the truth is, and, it's interesting because there are so many, sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the super chats. I mean, on the chat thing. And I just saw the super chat thing, which is very funny because last night there was a whole battle happening, which was really fun. But there are a lot of editorials being written about how the left sucks and they're vitriol and they turn people off. And yet, but they don't even do it this sort of succinctly. You have to kind of like, claw through all of their pretzel logic to excuse why they're mad at the left for always being right first. But like, there are facts and there aren't always two sides to the same story. So like, thank goodness for people like him. And there's just no space for Robert Fisk or Chris Hedges at the New York Times or any legacy media anymore, if there ever was. Sorry.
Yeah, and if there ever was, well, good news. The Zionists have the main people in charge at every news organization on earth, just about directing what our public thinks
the
is true.
truthiness. Yeah, exactly. All right, now for something a little more joyous.
And now for something different, as they say on Monty Python. Puppets, something about cats. Oh, cats making some sounds. There we go.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Yeah?
Why? That's squeakers.
Good morning. Yes, you are. Yeah. What? Oh. Hey. It's a good girl. Hi. Yeah. You're very cute.
Oh, they are so cute. They're really cute.
They are.
Yeah, I can't handle the truthiness. No, nothing's. I love Chris Hedges. No, he was fired from the New York
They
Times
wouldn't take him
for
as the
telling the
point,
truth about the Iraq War. Like they will not have people. He was their Middle East, the head of their Middle East department, and Middle East correspondent, and they don't want the truth. They just want to be stenographers for their, for the military industrial complex.
All the damage they've done in the media, it's only going to get worse because these people are in charge, but also because anyone wanting to go into the career, if you're a real leftist, you're going to be ostracized. You're going to have to tone police yourself all the time through media.
That's right.
It's just going to get really ugly. It is already, but like
it is
it's not
so ugly.
As bad as it's going to be.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse, which is why we really all, have to support independent journalists. Because again, it's not that they don't get something wrong. Anybody can get something wrong, but they apologize for it. They issue actual corrections, and they're not in it to serve the State Department or their, billion-dollar master. So that's the difference. This was just like an incredible blurb here. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will skip the signing of U.S. President Donald Trump's Board of Peace in Davos after Switzerland confirmed it would enforce the ICC arrest warrant over war crimes in Gaza. So first of all, kudos to Switzerland. Also, the fact that the head of NATO wrote to Trump and was like, I'm with you on Gaza and Syria, but let's talk about Greenland. NATO's destroyed already. Gaza has really just shown a light on how morally bankrupt and evil every leader basically is.
Yeah, it's true. And the facade is over. The one good thing the U.S. had going for it, despite its imperialist instincts, over the decades and decades, is we did fund projects around the world that bought some goodwill of some sort. But now that goodwill gap is being picked up by China and Russia.
Yeah.
As we are being the evil people that make their country support Israel, which their people don't want to do. And then we are now imposing these tariffs that are going to hurt their countries that don't make any fucking sense for anybody. And so, but what we used to have is like a 4-year cycle of, well, that's gone, new people, new look, new vibes. but those were always vibes anyway. The project never changed. But now we've gotten rid of like any goodwill that we could possibly contribute to the world. We are now such a clear force of evil in the world.
And like it's so clear that the ICC was not intended for the US. Like, we removed ourselves entirely, and it was clear anyway, right? The Hague Act was under George W. Bush. And by the way, he included Russia in the protection, basically, of the Hague Act, because great power, and Israel, of course, should not be subjected to the rules-based order. That's basically the contention. And they're right. I mean, it's disgusting, but like, they're getting away with it. I saw, and of course now I don't have that tweet, but somebody wrote, oh, where? Yeah. So, okay. Macron, he did send that. And we showed that yesterday, but there was also one from Ruta that was the same, basically. Just, it didn't say we'll have dinner in Paris, but it was the same tenor. And I can't access it now because I had to put all of my graphics from yesterday's show onto an external drive, so it's not on my computer right now. But I do have the proof. I do have the receipts. I just don't have it on me now. But it's despicable. I mean, it is truly despicable. But so to go back to the journalism aspect of it. So this is from Prem Tucker. 103 days into the ceasefire. Yes, good. Put it in quotations, of course, because Israel, I think, has upwards of 1,400 violations, has killed several hundred people during the ceasefire. I mean, imagine if tables were
killed
turned.
Directly, but like starving is just continuing. People dying of lack of medicine.
The people are in tents with holes. They're being flooded. Children are being, sorry, we'll come back to this, bitten by rats. Like, in their tents. Parents are waking up to find their babies, their toddlers, dead because they are in wet clothes in the freezing cold. They are dying. They are freezing to death. And because of the starvation and, people's immune systems, their bodies are depleted. They can't fight against all of this. So there's, of course, downstream effects of this disgusting blockade on all aid, basically, which was part of the ceasefire deal also. But just in terms of actual fire, like actually bombing tents and targeting journalists, this was yesterday. Israeli drone strike on vehicle kills 3 journalists in Gaza. They were on assignment to film a camp in Gaza to document the plight of Palestinians displaced by Israeli bombs. Israel killed them because, of course, they don't want the rest of the world to see what's happening, even though we all know. And this is how Bari Weiss's chosen anchor, Tony Duckapel, covered a cameraman who, by the way, worked for CBS News.
Turning to one of the deadliest days in Gaza since October's ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, an Israeli airstrike today killed 3 journalists. Israel said it was targeting a group operating a drone affiliated with Hamas. One of those journalists, Abed Sha'at, has worked for CBS as a photographer. His colleagues described the 30-year-old as a brave person doing dangerous work. He was married just 2 weeks ago.
He was working for Hamas. Just throws that in there to absolve Israel for targeting yet another 3 journalists.
Yeah, you can't hate anyone in the media enough. Like, that's really all these cowards pushing this propaganda. You are just a Nazi enabler. You are every bit the scumbag. You are supposed to wake people up. People already agree with you if you say the right thing. So you should have some fucking cojones and go on air and say, tonight's my last show, but I got to be honest about Israel. Let them cut the mic. And then you'll have the biggest platform on earth on the internet. Like, anyone at
Unfortunately,
these places.
he's a true believer. Like he is he's the one who, I mean, I think part of the reason
he was chosen.
got that job was because of that horrific interview that he did on his like CBS morning show with Ta-Nehisi Coates, where he basically called him a terrorist. If I had read your book, the message or the messenger message, I can't remember now, sorry, it would be no different from did he say a young Islamic person with a backpack? Like basically said all of the, dog whistles, not dog whistles, whatever, about what it is to be a terrorist. That's what he called his friend, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who he said, don't worry, you're still invited to the Passover Seder. Fuck off with your gefilte fish. Seriously.
Fuck off, and the word that usually comes after that. Fuck off, and yes, that.
And Luigi. All right. We don't have that much more time. Should we just stick with the Kushner board of peace? I mean, listen, I don't think anybody really wants to listen to 3 minutes of Jared Kushner talking about how the first step is to get Hamas to disarm itself, which they said that they would do. Yeah, they said they would do it if all of these other criteria were met, which Israel has not met any of them. And if it's not Hamas, it's going to be somebody else. You cannot occupy and dominate and genocide a people. And now that yellow line keeps moving. They are basically building the goal of this is to build concentration camps for Palestinians. Even in a smaller area than Gaza already was.
Well, that's clearly what they want. And they want the last few people to think, well, shit, I'll go to Egypt or wherever we have as a safe haven created for them because this is so vile. And that's it. They're just, when I say they, it's us, our country, our government. This PowerPoint presentation peace plan bullshit. It's a real estate developer wet dream. That's all they're doing. They're like, here's how all of you at Davos can make money from our plan.
Invest. Yeah. It's disgusting, so I don't think we really need to watch that. I do like showing this very short clip of Jared Kushner basically being outed by Steve Witkoff on 60 Minutes. It's very short.
We're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, Jared's been pushing this and we're working together.
I don't know that was supposed to be out there quite like that.
Probably not. And probably shouldn't call it a master plan when you're the master race, I don't know. This is just these people
they wear their Nazism proudly.
Yeah, I don't want them to exist at some point, in
a better world. And this, by the way, this is from 2018.
And there are very few countries left. By the way, what are we doing with Greenland? We got to do something with Greenland. Where's my advanced team? Go to Greenland. They must have some satellite needs or something that we could do there. But we are coloring the world blue.
Interesting. That's from 2018. What are we doing with Greenland?
Yeah.
I know we're getting close to wrapping up, so we do have some super chats. Just want to quickly say, Daniel NY1, you're not a new member, but you're starred, but you've been a member now for a while, so welcome back again. Susan Mendejo, thank you for your super chat. What's your opinion of Jake GTV? Dig his videos. You think he is reliably pro-Palestinian? He is one of the right's bigger anti-Zionist voices.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, because I answered this last week. Yeah.
Okay. He's not reliable pro-Palestinian. He's anti-Jew. Just to simplify it, he's anti-Jew. He's the right's. It's the right-wing project of white supremacy still with him.
Yeah, there's a difference between
No, go ahead.
Well, between being anti-Zionist, which is anti-colonialist, which is pro a life of dignity and freedom and liberation, and Jake G is not that. He's using this horrific genocide as an entry point because he says he's against the genocide. I will take him at his word, but he's also a white supremacist, xenophobe, America firster. So that is different to me from being anti-colonialist, anti-empire, anti-Zionist.
Right. And the giveaway on it is what we've mentioned a few times, the just noticing lingo, that kind of stuff. When you hear just noticing that the Jews are always running this or the other thing, like there's one thing to say, hey, let's acknowledge the reality that these people have taken over some of these organizations, but the specific phrase just noticing is Nazi right-wing shit. It's white supremacist stuff. It's not an accident that he uses it.
Right.
Because it's specifically targeting an audience that already knows, they speak that language very well.
Yeah. Yeah. He is an anti-Semite. So yeah, but that said, we thank you for your super chat and for asking and being willing to engage in the conversation, because I do think it's important to choose allies. It's one thing to get support from people to fight against a genocide, and we don't all have to align on the reasons that we are against a genocide, but that's different from embracing the ideology of the person who happens to cross with one or two positions.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's bringing people on the right over to want to end the genocide.
Right.
That part, 100,000 million%. So that part is good.
Yes. And then Prime Minister Mark Carney gave the world a lesson, basically saying the empire is too on the nose to keep pretending international law is really a thing. Yeah, I mean, we showed a clip of that speech yesterday. I am glad he said the things he said, but it's really hard for me and thank you for your super chats. Truly thank you. And for your support and everything. Cheers. We really appreciate that. But like the praise that has been extended to some of these people who, again, were totally fine with genocide, totally fine with kidnapping the ruler of a sovereign country, with trying to start a war with Iran, with crippling sanctions on so many countries in the global south. Like, they were fine with all of it as long as they were not being targeted themselves. And so that, to me, I think it's important that we become a multipolar globe. I think that's really important for all of our safety, that it should not just be one batshit crazy superpower that has financial control over every nation. So I welcome that. I don't know exactly what's going to come of it, but it's hard to give these leaders much credit for finally coming around only because it now affects them.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. I would hope the floodgates open to other countries and we see some of these, bandwagon kind of people finally pushing back. But like, if you didn't yet, if genocide's okay with you, it's just selfish, self-interested, even if it's for your country. But I don't know. I hope we get more of it.
I hope we get more of it too, because it is actually, it's the truth. I mean, he said a lot of things that were accurate, and he even, in a very sort of articulate, poetic way, didn't entirely let himself or the other leaders off the hook. Like, we did it when it benefited us, but like, yeah, you did. 600,000 Palestinians are under rubble right now. You did. So good talk. It's all true, and it's very little and very late. But I agree with the words that were spoken there. You know.
Again, it does come down to like, it feels a little bit like the Democrats swearing at the Republicans, like,
yeah,
fuck you, Donald Trump, and then passing all his legislation. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. If we can get a good deal or like the tariffs go away, then we'll be fine again. We'll be fine. I do like that that they took away the tariffs on the Chinese EVs. I think that's great. Maybe we can all get some of them down here in southern Canada.
We could have EV trucks here that cost $10,000 to $15,000, which would be amazing. But we have this, Tesla and Musk have basically bought our government. They're locking out all the competition. That's the whole plan. So, again, if the Democrats didn't drop climate change as an issue, you could make the case that it'd be better for the planet to let some of these EV trucks in because it's so important.
Yeah.
But the Democrats don't think climate change is real anymore. I mean, they do, but they don't care because they're not going to live long enough to really be impacted by it. And they're fucking narcissist, corrupt, evil fucks, or you wouldn't rise to power.
Yeah.
So
what a world. Hala, thank you. Super sticker. Another super sticker. Another super sticker. Cheers and thank you so much. Thank you.
I need a whole nother beer for all those super stickers.
I know. All right. I know it is late.
Are we looking at something to go out on here?
Well, I mean, we do have something to go out on, and I know we just the thing about the climate, and I think part of the reason is because Democrats are just as invested in all of this tech bro AI stuff as Republicans, and the data centers cannot exist on renewable energy. And that's a problem.
It's terrible for our environment. The AI is terrible for jobs. The only people benefiting from AI are the people at the top. Period. And we're already, all the economists that you see, even that get on TV, they're like trying to flag people to the problem.
Yeah.
The media is sort of both siding the AI issue when there's only one side to it. It's very bad. But the economists are all starting to say, yeah, is AI too big to fail? They're like setting us up to where we have to start backing the bailout of AI as we are continuing to invest in AI because all of our leaders are bought by AI money.
This is Larry Fink at Davos, the place where they want to solve big problems. And as we showed yesterday, that graph of all of the media and like how they used to write about how we're going to fix climate change and we're going to meet these different marks. And then like 3 years ago, Obama said, well, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If we don't get to 1.5, if we get to 2, 3, we're gone. Like it's donezo. Like what are you even talking about? And, Bill Gates saying we have to stop focusing on climate. Now we have Larry Fink talking about data centers.
The world is going to be short power. And to power these data companies, you cannot have just this intermittent power like wind and solar. You need dispatchable power because you can't turn off and on these data centers.
And then here's Lutnick asking, why are we even trying for net zero? And watch the reaction from the other people up on the panel with him, because this is a death sentence. I mean, capitalism is a death cult, whether it's climate, COVID, genocide. They do not care. If they could make a single fucking penny off of your death, it's fine with them.
It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole in the middle, but in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agree to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery? They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries. Why would you do that? Why would the United States of America, which has oil and natural gas, try to convert to all electricity? China does not have oil and natural gas. Electricity and electric cars make perfect sense to them. That is practical and logical.
These guys just fucking lie. I mean, and they're looking at a panel of people that understand the facts. So they know he's just lying, first off.
Yeah.
Trump's out here saying China doesn't have, I went to China. Why are they pushing all these windmills when they don't have a single fucking windmill? A quarter of their energy supply is from fucking windmills, you goddamn liar. So yeah. This whole, like, why are we doing things to save the planet when
doesn't
it doesn't
everybody have a bunker?
Matter?
Where's your bunker? Where's your Billy? What's the problem here? Aren't I among my people? We all have bunkers. Why are we talking about this anymore?
Yeah.
It's
well, Lila,
crazy.
let me tell you, when your mom is thinking about retirement, I have some tips for her, what to do with her 10 to 15 houses. This was also from the WF last night.
God,
these people think, I mean, they think we're stupid, which they're not wrong, but they think we're going to take it, which they're not wrong, which we are here to prove them wrong about. And we are taking it. And until we stop taking it, this is our life. Listening to these guys tell us, when my parents retire, I'm going to have to figure out what to do with their 10 to 15 houses.
Can you imagine
they bought in their retirement?
Problem that's what white people problems. Yeah. Meanwhile, most people who are retiring in their 80s are working at Walmart or whatever until they're replaced by robots. It's yeah, and exactly. Our pensions will be used to bail out AI companies, or they're being like rolled into Israeli bonds or something. So we're either bailing out AI companies or funding a genocide. Yeah.
But I mean, like, as far like, I'm an electrician, right? So I follow a lot of the electrical stuff a little closer than the average bear. Like, so in California, they're pushing SMUD rebates to basically get free batteries in your house, right? So basically, battery backs up the electricity and stores solar energy more or less in your battery, because they know they're going to invest in AI, and they know that they're going to have an electricity gap. So they're planning our whole future in California. Once you see those rebates, it's part of the plan.
Yeah.
They know the grid is going to get taxed because they are all bought by these AI companies, and like it or not, they're all coming. And so even SMUD has to say, we got people need to get batteries. And it's not a bad thing to get it, but it's forecasting where we're going, that we're fucked, because the AI is unstoppable at this point.
It is. They've decided that that's the bubble, and we will all burst while they get to keep their money. And Makaris, thank you for your super chat. Thank you. Yeah. There's going to be a huge storm, I guess, coming soon to the Midwest and the East Coast. And as the weather announcers talk about it, they're talking about possibly losing power outages for days, weeks, or months. What happens? I mean, just think about what that actually means. I mean, obviously there are people who are living that in other countries and probably even some in our country, but that's a whole different reality. And so I also think that for a lot of people who malign asylum seekers or immigrants who are coming here, we are all, one horrible storm or one horrible economic crash away from being climate migrants ourselves.
Absolutely. And when when it comes to my world in Sacramento, for example, just because this is what I know. So Sacramento in the summers is when we have the power outages because people use their AC a lot, right? So what this is setting up is a situation where, because the data centers need so much of this electricity, rich people who have their batteries will be okay and their ACs will still work. And you at your shitty little apartment complex and your little house with 10 people living in it, you don't have the battery pack. So, but the AI must go on is going to be the thing.
All right. Listen, it is 8:10 on the West Coast. And I am so sorry for those of you in the Northeast where it's going to be horrible storms in the Midwest. I mean, honestly, but we're, it's happening everywhere. It's just a matter of when we're affected. But that's why the difference between the left, the real left, and the right is the real left says an injury to anyone is an injury to all of us. The real left has solidarity with our neighbors, with the working class, with international working class. And I think that, to me, that's what resonates for me as a leftist is, even if we align on certain moments, we have to be looking out for each other. That's the whole project. It's the whole project. I hope everybody stays safe, because the truth is when the power goes down, and yes, sorry, I see what you're saying, David. It's a storm, it's not Gaza, but like when the power goes out, people die. Elderly people, disabled people, children, right? Like there are real life and death consequences besides just an inconvenience, which, I'm lucky enough that the power outages I've been, subjected to are inconvenient for a few days. But that's very different from how it can affect people who aren't as privileged as I am. So stay safe, everybody. And yes, general strike tomorrow. Minneapolis leading the way. And Pat, do you have anything else to say before we go out?
I'm just looking for the knock on my door from some guy looking. I want maybe this is selfish, but I really want a guy to come knock on my door and ask about my tweets.
Pat, I hear what you're saying, but I'm so worried.
Just because I'm going to be able to make an example of him. That's the only reason. I know it's a terrible thing. It should not happen.
No, I know. I just come
to my house and let's have a talk.
Person, you know what I mean? Like one trigger happy person who doesn't say, "Oh no, it's America. We do still have free speech." It's one guy who's like, "You sound like a fucking terrorist." You know what I mean? Like that makes me very nervous.
Of course.
Jen, was that recently?
But I'm ready for him.
I want to hear this story. All right, get your camera out and don't say anything until you have a lawyer.
Shut the fuck up Friday.
Shut the fuck up Friday. All right, we love you guys. Thank you for being here in community with us. It really means so much. It's the highlights of our week. And Jen, I want to hear all about that. So I'm gonna side chat you and hear that story. That's crazy. I'm glad you're safe, but that's fucking crazy. Love to everybody. Stay safe. Fight the power. Keep punching up. Cheers.
Cheers.
Our message to Trump, to ICE, and to all their lackeys is that we are not scared. Get the fuck out. Your days are numbered. We're getting organized. We're going to defeat you. We are not scared of you. We are going to win. ICE has been waging a war against the working class in the Twin Cities and around the state of Minnesota. And our local firmly believes in the principle of an injury to one is an injury to all. So we feel like when these savage attacks are going on that we have a responsibility to stand up and to meet that challenge, to stand with our sisters and brothers. All of the ways in which people's lives have been turned upside down and for those people who've had a family member kidnapped, just how devastating that would be to lose your mom or your dad or an uncle or aunt, for no crime at all. They want to keep the working class in fear. They want to keep us divided. They want to keep, especially the folks that work in the hardest jobs, the least paying jobs, they want to terrorize them. They want us to start turning on each other and rolling over. So all our people across Minnesota, whether you're in a union or not, we have to understand that this state does not run without our labor. The buses don't run, the hospitals don't run, the schools don't run. Business does not run without our labor. And while on a day-to-day level, we can often feel tired, exhausted, and weak, we have to know that collectively we have a huge amount of power, and that if we exercise that power, it will change the dynamic in this city, in this state, and in this country. And it will knock some people on their asses. It will knock some of the rich and powerful people on their asses. And it will open up the possibility of much more stronger forms of struggle to use against our enemies.